Welcome to Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory. Come on in, let's take a look. Got really lucky on that double flip.
Man, it was bizarre, man. I really was lazy, you know? Smoked a lot of weed in that era, and I wasn't committed to the craft, right? I think in that 21 to 24 era, I was very lost, right? Skateboarding wasn't giving me the fulfillment that I needed, right?
It wasn't?
Nah, so I was trying all this different stuff, like trying all this different skateboard companies, and I was getting hurt all the time, and at the time, you know, Ken Block in DC, I was 24 years old, and they were basically like, you know, your best years are behind you. We appreciate what you've done for us over the years, and we think we're gonna give you one more shoe and give you a 2-year contract to basically say thank you, and we think you're done. I remember sitting in there and looking at him being like, man, I know it's not lip service, I'm not saying to say it, but in 2 years I'm gonna be a completely different person, and there's no way that this is, that I'm done and that this is the end. And I'm not even gonna say it, I'm just gonna prove it. And even when I was 11 years old, when I'd been skateboarding for a month, and there was a big contest in town, and all these pros are gonna be there, and it was held by the local skate shop, and you know, I didn't have any money, I couldn't even go, I couldn't get in, so I just called them up. I said, look, if I get 10 people to pay to go to your event, will you let me in for free? And they were like, what? Like, I'm like, can I? And they're like, sure. So I got the 10 people to pay. I went down there, and they're like, this kid, like, well, like, I'm ready to go. And then they had a ramp, and they're like, you should skate the ramp. You want to skate the ramp? Your parents are here. And then when I skated the ramp, they're like, what? This kid is so good. He's only been skating for like 3 months, and that set me off on that journey, you know. And I don't know how or where it came from. I don't know what. My parents weren't entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm. Did your parents have money?
Parents didn't have money. Never had money. I never had any expectations of. My mom didn't work, she raised us, you know, my dad sold suits, you know, and like to me, he was killing it, like we live in a house, you know, I never, you know, I never thought I wanted anything, I just played sports, you know, I had to, when I bought my first skateboard, I had to buy it from my sister's boyfriend, you know, I before that obsessed with soccer, and I just know that like where I would just, you know, when I put my mind to it, it was like I was only going to be the best and nothing else, but I don't know where that was born from.
I love to create, right? Now, I love the lifestyle that money provides you, right? Because it gives you this immense amount of freedom and security, right? And the problem is if you don't build it in a way that it's built to be secure, where you're risking all the time and doing all this stuff, and you don't have a plan for all of it holistically, sometimes you swing into this very burdensome where you over leverage yourself or got too risky, you know, it creates like, but because you're chasing a bigger thing, well, what's the bigger thing? Like, and that's really what Money Master the Game did to me. It was like just made me stop and build a plan for money for the rest of my life, right? And ultimately that is to create a lifestyle that my money provides, right? And as that scales, my lifestyle scales, right? As opposed to getting a place of thinking that I'm going to get rich, and a system that I've created. It doesn't matter if I make 100 million or 500 million or 5 billion, the system will never change. It's scalable with where I go, right? Sure. And for me, it's why I built a systematic entire venture system, right, that I call the Dyrdek machine, which is basically my philosophy on how I will build businesses. So that's my passion, right?
I think when it comes to understanding, tackling fear and relentless problem solving, right? It's like the reality of learning tricks. You have to try it over and over and over and over and keep adjusting every little aspect of your body to ultimately get it to work. And then when you get it to work, it's like this incredible, like, oh my God, I can't believe I learned this. And that progression drives you even further, you know.
the greatest energy that you can live in is that sort of excitement of something coming around the corner, whether it's a new job or a new moment or something big happening. Like there's that energy, and I've figured out how to live in that a lot, right? And I think that becomes incredibly motivating. And then when you see the results of making yourself better, how much better you get, and how it affects the world around you, like it just gives you that much more motivation. Like, oh man, if I just get better and better, like everything gets bigger and stronger and better. So it's like that motivation and drive comes from that desire to grow and create.
Someone like me, I'm into, as I get older, I'm understanding scalability and processes and limits, right? And in order to be able to do what I want to do at an efficient level, I have to have a ton of really highly skilled people that are under really sound processes that I can oversee. And I think I have to adapt that to life, where if you do in fact want to get married at some point, you've got to look ahead to where you can slow down, because, working at this pace and doing this much, it wouldn't be the most ideal thing. I've had so many failures at so many levels, and I think even I only really started to get it and grow up a year and a half ago when I finally brought on a CEO for my company, right? Where he really began to help me learn to continue to grow, and then start surrounding yourself with mentors and really smart people that have done what you're trying to do or what you may want to do, so you can learn from them. And that really revolutionized sort of my entire process, because before I was making millions, losing millions, making millions, buying this, doing this. I wrote, produced, financed films, lose a couple million, I was so driven that it didn't matter to me. I just wanted to get things done.
It's understanding the period where you were in your life, and then ultimately, why were you so scattered for so long? Why were you so lost? And why did you spend 3 or 4 years desiring and wishing rather than working? To then go through that process and go through this idea of only working on embedding subconsciously that you believe you were meant to be successful. Nothing more, nothing less. And then you go and you make a run like I made. It's hard to believe otherwise, that it didn't have some sort of grand connection to it,